All right, now we're heading into our subcast, Casting Dread, the Penny Dreadful Show. Adam, Season 2 is over. And spoiler alert, we're going to spoil the show for you a little bit. If you haven't seen the last episode, stop right now, watch Penny Dreadful. Don't buy DVD, that's garbage. Buy the Blu-ray. We've already discussed this quite a bit on the podcast. So we've had a few deaths.
Yeah.
Sembeni is gone.
Yes. Yeah.
Madame Kali, Evelyn Poole, is also gone.
Yes.
So, other survivors, were you surprised that one of the mains didn't die, like Ethan Chandler or Ava Green? You can't have Penny Dreadful without Ava Green.
No way.
But what about someone else? Were you surprised that one of them didn't bite the bullet?
Yeah. I thought what they've shown over the course of these first couple seasons is they are not afraid to pull the big shocker. So I thought personally that at the end of season 2, Ethan was going to end up, in some sort of possibly, due to a transformation, his problem with that he would be put down by one of the other cast members, and that would create kind of a psychodrama effect that you would launch into the next season. But it didn't turn out that way. Unfortunately, a character that we were just kind of getting to know a little bit because it was a relationship with Ethan did have to pass away, unfortunately.
That really stinks because I don't know if it's a trend. It's kind of like George R.R. Martin, but on a different level. We get to know Van Helsing, and then he goes away. Yeah. We get to know the Renfield type character, and then he goes away. And then we also Proteus. After episode 2, he's gone. So, with this trend being set up, do you see any other characters possibly in the future biting the bullet? We've got a new alliance forming between Dorian Gray and Brona Croft, or now Lily Frankenstein. Yeah. Do you see anything like that possibly going in the future?
I think with the Lily character, and this is just pure me supposing and wondering and thinking, but and it's total conjecture, but I can kind of see there is maybe a little bit of evil upon her return to life that wasn't there with Ethan when she was alive. She's brought back something with her, I feel like, that there's a little seed of darkness within her that may end up becoming something that has to be dealt with, possibly even leading up to a death. I don't know, but something's going to happen with that. I don't know how far it's going to go, but something's going to have to happen with that. That has to be resolved.
I'm really surprised Victor Frankenstein has lasted as long as he has, because with Proteus and with the creature and everyone else, I'm shocked actually, and eventually his sins are coming to roost. I mean, we all have light and darkness within us, and that's the part of the show. And there's Elvira. She's just walking right by us. Amazing. Looking very sexy and gorgeous. But what Penny Dreadful brings to the screen is duality. And what is it about it besides the literary aspects? Why do people continue to like it? It's a show that's well respected in the community, but not a lot of people know about. But it's growing and growing and growing. Why is it on such a positive upturn?
I think what they've done most successfully is they've been able to weave multiple narratives together in a way that is fairly seamless, and they can deal with the storylines from certain characters and have others in the background for a while, and then bring those forward. And the kind of seamless transition between it has to be half a dozen different narratives. The way they've been able to do that and do it successfully, I think you're appealing to a lot of different people, even if you're not necessarily a Frankenstein fan. Maybe you're, more of a werewolf person, or, Dorian Gray, for that matter. So there's a lot of different areas that they touch upon, and we're always, we're going back to dealing with those primal things. It's life and death, and all the stuff that lies in between it. So, I think that they're just doing a really good job of putting that all together at the same time. It's not an easy task.
Two last things. Did you see Ethan Chandler as Lawrence Talbot? Did you see that coming?
No, absolutely not. No, hey, that's one of my favorite things about the show is just when I think I know exactly where it's going, it throws a curveball. And that's for someone who considers himself to be practically jaded as a viewer, where I know all the twists and turns, you're not going to fool me. And they're always managing to pull a surprise or two that is really, quite delightful. So.
My favorite part of the season, and I think yours was too, was the revelation of the Verbus Diablo. That not only does Lucifer exist, but Dracula exists, and they are brothers. Lucifer in hell and Dracula on earth. What do you think about that twist? And if you actually read Stoker's narrative about the Scholomance and his speech specifically, that ties into Stoker.
Yeah. Well, my favorite thing about the language aspect of that was they didn't make it a language with a set of words or whatever. It was a combination of language and different elements that have to be interpreted a certain way for you to understand it. So there was a level of complexity to the thought of that is very interesting and dynamic.
I totally agree. Well, folks, that was Casting Dread, the Penny Dreadful Sudcast. We'll be right back at you with the Dracula podcast, right here from ShockaCon 2015.